weeks. They were two big tests, and you guys came through it. You got out with wins. Where do you feel like the team is right now?
Well, they were two big tests going from Wake Forest all the way to NC State. Two great opponents, and honestly, the way our defensively going against Wake Forest wasn't our best game. So honestly, I'm proud of the way that we responded going into last week against NC State. DBs were dialed in, D-line we was dialed in, linebackers was doing their thing, and offensively they've been very consistent past few weeks against both Wake Forest and NC State, putting up points, executing the play calling. So I think we're in a great spot as of right now.
I think Coach Go was saying, the teams are getting the ball out fast. It's hard to get a pass rush if the quarterback only has it for 2 seconds. But you guys were able to get after Witter a little more. Why do you think you were so much more successful bringing pressure this time?
Coach Easton and Coach Hall did approaches with that, saying like the quarterbacks would catch it, throw it, quick RPOs and stuff like that. But they always say, although that may be the case 90% of the time, just make sure regardless you're just still pass rushing, just in case that one or two times where that first read isn't there and he has to go to that second read, you were still pass rushing and you're probably going to get the sack or pressure or whatever, strip sack, whatever. So our main thing is if you see a pass set, just continue to pass rush the passer. Don't let that 2 seconds get into your head and just tell yourself, oh, I'm not going to get there. Just keep rushing the passer.
Do you think at all in the couple weeks prior that was getting in your guys' head? That it's just they're going to get the ball out, we're not getting there, any of that?
Not necessarily in that way. It was more so a game plan thing. Like if it's a team like NC State where they throw a lot of screens, like know that they throw screens and know that the guards are going to set and release quick. Really, I honestly caught on with Furman because Furman, they did throw a lot of screens and did kind of catch us off guard a little bit because didn't see a lot of screens on film, but they threw it against us and worked too many times in my opinion. So we dialed in on that, and I think we've done a lot better with that.
Myles, from game one to now past NC State, how do you feel like where do you feel like this defensive line's improved the most?
Oh man, honestly, we had a lot of chemistry going into the season, and now playing different opponents and watching film and seeing how we work well with each other when it's literally just a straight on rush. I think we're very cohesive and have done really well and gotten a lot better with that from week one. Playing against the run, really just striking at the point of attack, winning the line of scrimmage. I think we've done a better job at that. And honestly, winning the line of scrimmage at the snap of the ball, that's very huge and done a great job.
Myles, I'm guessing the way you guys responded from Wake Forest to Saturday night against NC State, it's got to bring a lot of confidence to this unit and what you're doing going forward.
For sure, honestly, and I know from last week, defense didn't have the best of game, and I talked about it with someone, and I think it's kind of a good and bad thing. Kind of the defense kind of needed a game like that to know what it feels like to, I guess, not have the best game, and know what you need to do to prevent that from happening, and having that short-term memory of just forgetting it and going on to the next play, and then when that game's over, remembering the bad and growing upon that to bring it into next week. And Sweeney says it a lot. You can't bring the bad stuff carry over the bad stuff into next week. You just gotta learn from it and grow upon it. And you can't bring the good from last week into this week. So you just gotta keep on pushing, growing, watching film, and just going day by day.
Myles, looking ahead at the schedule, there's 2 back-to-back games on the road. Does the preparation change? Can you walk us through kind of what it's like knowing you have to use extra days to travel?
Honestly, maybe the preparation schedule may change, but honestly, the intensity is always the same, whoever the opponent is. Because Sweeney says it a lot. We're playing Clemson every Saturday, so we're playing ourselves. How do you grade yourself on tape? And so far as like hoping the opponent doesn't play as good, so you do have success. Like, regardless of how the opponent plays, how did you do? How was your success? How was your effort? How was your intensity and stuff like that? So, yeah, the intensity is going to stay the same. We're going into Mental Monday in a few hours. So, I'm sure the coaches are in the staff rooms right now, game planning. So, yeah, intensity is going to stay the same.
Do you know much about Boston College's offense yet?
Watch a little bit of film on them, and good, very, very run heavy. Good bit of misdirection. Very accurate quarterback. Hit his spots anywhere, honestly. Short to mid range throws. Throw it over the top every once in a while, but honestly, just started watching film on them. Going to keep watching film on them, and I'll know more about them.
Okay, so going back to Furman, I think that was a week where Coach Sweeney said there was some loafing on the field. I think he brought up her name specifically, maybe just as an example. But do you hear that, and does that make you want to respond in any way? I mean, when you hear that it wasn't always effort-wise what you wanted.
I hear the message and I hear his intent. His intent is really just to see how I'm going to respond to that. It is calling me out. So I mean, I really just gotta respond and have my film speak for itself. Honestly.
You talk about grading yourself. I mean, how do you feel like you would grade the first 4 games of the season as opposed to this 5th one?
Honestly, not well. I guess personally, not too well. But I've always been a hard grader, even for some of my best games or some people that would think were my best games. I've probably graded myself as so many things could have been so much better, and that's with any game with anybody. Something can always be improved, but I'm always my hardest critic. So. I guess going from the first 4 games, they were, I guess, okay. This past game, better. Still a lot of things that I could have improved on. Some pass rushes I could have improved on. Run plays, playing the run. Always something to improve on.
What are some things you thought you did well in this game that you want to build upon in the coming weeks?
Having a good pass rush plan and being more consistent in that pass rush plan and film study, knowing the backfield sets and what they like to run out of those sets, and really just within the play call, knowing what I need to do and what I can do according to that backfield set and knowing what they like to do out of that. That's pretty much it.
Any questions for Myles from Zoom?
Hey, Myles. Sorry, everybody. Hey, Myles. Trevor Gross, SeaTigers.com. No sacks in those first 2 games. 3 sacks in the last 3. Were they double teaming you at all in the first couple games?
Well, yeah, that's double team, slot protection, running back, tight end chest. That's gonna come with every game, honestly, and that really comes with game planning and watching film, and I guess knowing how the offensive coordinator is gonna think. And I've never been the one to want to use excuses. So honestly, those things are just things that I can improve on, things I can conquer. I played against double teams before, and I've beaten double teams all the time. So honestly, just things that's been on me, honestly.
Do you think that your defensive line is harder to do that against than most, just because you have so many guys that can rush the passer so well?
Yeah, I do believe that. Whether whoever is double team, whether it's me, Brian, KJ, XT, Tyler, Root, whoever, if one person double team, someone else has a one-on-one, and my expectations for me and anyone else on the line is if you have a one-on-one, you got to win it, because I see the one-on-one pass rushes every day against our O-line, and honestly, to put in short words, it looks fantastic in my opinion. So that's just my expectation. If you have a one-on-one, you got to win.
Thanks, Myles.
Hey, Myles, it's Mitchell Summers with Fox Carolina. It's you and Syracuse the only unbeaten in the conference left on the other side of the conference. driver's seat, controlling your own destiny. I was wondering just kind of how's it feel to be, in comparison to last year. You guys, if you just keep on doing your thing, you control your own destiny. How does that?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, to be in the driver's seat of this entire thing. Because last year, it was not a good feeling being in the hotel on Friday nights, looking at NC State, looking at Wake Forest, and just hoping for, I guess, failure for one of those teams so that we could move up in the polls. And that's really just not a good feeling. Not something that I would ever like to do ever again, personally. So it does feel good to be in the driver's seat, and honestly, we just have to fall in love with the work to stay in the driver's seat. And that starts with mental Mondays, going to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday practices, and just let the work show on Saturday.
And one other thing, I think every game this year, there's probably been one of you guys in the defensive line that's been out. Are you looking forward to a time period where it's going to be you, X, Brian, everyone, and Tyler all at full health? And just how scary will that be whenever everyone's ready to go and cook it?
It'll be scary because that'll be. We're going to be hitting on all facets of the D-line if everyone comes back healthy. But I guess that's the beauty of our D-line. If someone does go down, we have another man that's ready to go in, and it's no drop-off at all because we had a few good guys down this past game, and in the film on a few of those sacks, we literally just rushing 3, and we're getting back there in about 2.5 seconds. So that's just the beauty of our D-line. So we have depth, whether it's at DN or D tackle. If someone goes down, we can put someone in.
All right, thank you, Myles.
Thank you, Myles.